Knock knock his knuckles.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This time we have some more Sonic Forces news. We actually have two videos that came out from the official Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel. The first being the the spaceport gameplay. So we finally get to see what the screenshots were all about that were on the social media pages a few days ago. And the level, sure, it doesn't look like Chemical Plant. It looks like it. You can see the little tubes that have the blue liquid in it. It looks very similar to Chemical Plant. So, I mean, I'm glad it's not running on the tubes, kind of like how you do in Chemical Plant. It's like underneath it. You're going on like other areas underneath it and going past it. It looks cool. Like the setting looks pretty cool still. I think Chemical Plant was always one that looked really cool. So I think this spaceport area, it's nice. As for the design, the level design itself, I'm getting like a weird Mario 3D land or 3D world vibe from it. Like, sure, it's 3D, but it's pretty linear. It's, you know, go from here, point A to point B. It just looks like a level that would really fit in the Mario 3D world. Just add a couple loops and some rails. I mean, it's not entirely a bad thing, but I'm just saying it's kind of a weird. I mean, I think it's pretty weird, but that's fine. I mean, I'm definitely not that big of a fan of it because it feels like it just means you have to stop and jump through platforms and then just keep going. But then again, it's a platformer, so I mean, you can't expect anything else from it. I don't know. It does show the drill wispin, which that thing is holy frick, that thing is overpowered as heck. The video that you're seeing now, this person is just destroying groups of enemies. And at first I was like, really? I mean, the enemies are not an issue? But then again, I thought about it. What good Sonic game had smaller enemies or the weaker enemies be a big issue? I remember it was really annoying in Lost World, and it was really annoying in Sonic 2's Metropolis Zone. So I'm more than okay with that. I did like the little transition between the 3D to the 2D section, where it's like your character jumps on a train and like he's holding onto it, climbs up, and then he's about to get really hurt, and he just uses that grapple hook and just goes up. And I believe there's like a QuickTime event. I heard a sound that was for a QuickTime event, but I only heard it once. There might be more than one though, because I heard two distinct sound effects. One of them sounds like the sound effect that you get for like a homing attack, or at this probably a wispin, or the grapple hook. Not the wispin, just the grapple hook. And then from there it goes into a 2D section, which it's very similar to the DS 2D games, with the exception that you don't have the only difference is that you don't have a boost, but instead you have your drill wispin, which, I mean, the way it was shown here, it works very similar. If anything, it works a little too well, because you can just use it to go faster on certain platforms and take out those hordes of enemies that at this point become a non-issue. They're not a threat anymore. So, I think the only other thing I can mention is the music, which at first I wasn't a fan of it, but the more I listen to it, it's not that bad. It's okay, you know. It's not necessarily my type of music that I would listen to on repeat, but I'm gonna just take a guess and say that knowing me, I'll probably end up listening to it a couple times before the game releases, or a few times after the game releases. So that was Spaceport. On top of that, we have an idea of, I guess, a new gameplay mechanic for the custom hero, and that is the rental hero. And the way it worked, I'm gonna be honest, this video was a little hard to understand what was going on, because first off, you're fighting Infinite, and when you play as a custom character, you have this option to use a rental character to help you out in the stage. And I'm guessing that it's going to work kind of like how the assist characters work in like fighting games such as Marvel vs. Capcom, where you have to build some kind of meter up, bring them in, or you don't build a meter up in the Marvel game, but I'm saying for this, you might have to build up like a meter, Say something's not going your way and you need to get out of a tight spot, you just use your rental character's Whispin, and that will help you out. That's what I'm assuming that was. I couldn't really tell because it just seemed like it was very confusing to understand what was going on, like how switching, using the rental hero worked. Aside from that, it's a 2D fight against Infinite, which for some reason I'm reminded of a horrible boss fight from Mega Man X6. I'm not saying that this is horrible. I'm just saying it just reminds me of I believe his name is Hymax. Of all characters, I don't think it's Hymax. It's probably someone else. Anyways, the area that they're fighting in looks pretty cool. Looks very fitting for where you would fight Infinite. I don't really have any thoughts on the music. I think it was okay. It fits. And then there's a point where the enemies, like when you take out the enemies, the screen turned red and then there were just cannons shooting at you. I'm guessing that's part of the Infinite fight. I guess like you'll have time to take out the enemies that are gonna go after you, which, I mean, they're just enemies you can easily take out. What would be really cool is that the enemies they become more and more difficult enemies to fight. But as we can tell, we're just getting generic robot enemies for now. Or that might be the entire game itself. Who knows? It'd be really cool if like they become stronger and stronger, like through multiple phases or multiple rotations of that. And then there's a point where when it does turn red, the cannons just aim at you. I'm guessing so that way, take out enemies, avoid projectiles, and then do as much damage to Infinite with the laser whip as much as possible. So, my thoughts on it altogether, it's okay. I'm not a big fan of the whole Mario 3D World style level design of the first part of Spaceport, but it does look like something that if you do like speedrunning games, this is definitely going to be something for you. For me, I'm not entirely sure. You know, again, I'm still not convinced with Mania. Excuse me. I'm not convinced with Sonic Forces. Not yet. Which is kind of troubling because the game comes out in less than a month. Anyways, with that said, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. If you like the commentary and you want to hear more, be sure to subscribe. Also click the bell so that way you know anytime I upload a new video or do a live stream. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, thanks for watching.